Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the May meeting of the Pittsylvania County Planning Commission. Roll call, please.
Yes. Mr. Webb?
We're here.
Mr. Brown?
Here.
Mr. Waters?
Present.
Ms. Meese?
Here.
Mr. Dalton?
Here.
Mr. Oakes?
Here.
Ms. Henderson?
Present.
Mr. Hawker?
Here. Thank you, Mr. Arnold. If you would, please stand with me and let's have a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. Hearing of the citizens, is there anyone here tonight to address this board regarding anything that is not on our agenda tonight? All right.
No, sir.
Floor is open for an approval of the agenda.
I make a motion that we approve the agenda.
Motion by Mrs. Meese, is there a second?
A second.
Second by Mrs. Henderson. Please cast your vote. Motion to approve the agenda carries, 6 yes, 0 no, 1 absent. Approval of the minutes. Floor is open for a motion on the minutes.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes from the last meeting.
Motion by Mr. Waters. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Brown. Thank you. Motion to approve the minutes carries, 6 yes, 0 no, and 1 absent. I do not have a chairman's report tonight. We'll get right into our cases for the evening. Ladies and gentlemen, excuse me, pursuant to Article 5, Division 7 of the Pittsylvania County Zoning Ordinance, we, the Board of Zoning Appeal, we, the Planning Commission, have been empowered to hear and decide specific applications and appeals in support of said ordinance. In accomplishing this important task, we are charged with promoting the health, safety, and general welfare of the citizens of Pittsylvania County. We must ensure that all our decisions and recommendations be directed to these goals and that each be consistent with the environment, the comprehensive plan, and in the best interest of Pittsylvania County, its citizens, and its posterity. Anyone here to speak to this board regarding zoning cases will be limited to 3 minutes. At 7:07, case R-24-006 is now open for public hearing. Mr. Arnold.
Case R-24-006, Frank Tice has petitioned to rezone 2.99 acres located on State Road 796/Coleman Road in the Bannister Election District from R1 Residential Suburban Subdivision District to A1 Agricultural District to allow for the placement of an accessory structure on the property. Once the property is rezoned to A1, all uses listed under Section 35-178 are permitted. The staff summary is enclosed in the board packet, and Mr. Chairman, Frank Tice is here to represent the petition.
Mr. Tice? Yes, sir. Do you have anything to add to what we already have in our packet? Okay. I don't have anyone here signed up to speak to this case. Is there anyone else here to speak to this case? Okay. At 7:09, public hearing is closed. Ms. Henderson.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, in the case of R-24-006, as presented, I would like to make a motion that we recommend to the Board of Supervisors rezoning from A1 to R1.
Okay, motion by Ms. Henderson. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Oakes. Thank you. Please cast your vote.
Mr. Chairman, excuse me, did she just say change from A1 to R1? Did she have to back? I'm just,
I think that was,
From R1
needs to be flipped, I
I'm
think.
sorry.
Yeah.
she did flip it.
Yeah,
Correction from R1 to A1.
Okay.
That's right.
You good with that, Mr. Oakes?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thanks.
Mine did not. Did yours?
Yeah, Yep.
Please bear with us just 1 minute.
Okay. Yes.
Motion is approved, 6 yes, 0 no, and 1 absent. Thank you, Mr. Tice. At 7:11, case R-24-008 is now open for public hearing. Mr. Arnold.
Case R-24-008, Shiroli LLC has petitioned to rezone 0.89 acres located on U.S. Highway 29 North in the Bannister Election District from R1 Residential Suburban Subdivision District to B2 Business District to allow for the sales, service, and repair of automobiles. Once the property is rezoned to B2, all uses listed under Section 35-365 are permitted. The staff summary is enclosed in the board packet, and Mr. Chairman, Linda Shiroli is here to represent the petition.
Yes, ma'am. Do you have anything you'd like to address this board? All right, thank you. I don't have anyone else signed up to speak to this case. Are you here tonight to speak to this case? All right. At 7:12, public hearing is now closed. Ms. Henderson.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, in the case of R-24-008 Shiroli LLC, or Inc., actually, I'd like to make a motion that we do recommend to the Board of Supervisors that this petition be granted from R1 Residential to B2 Business District.
Motion by Ms. Henderson, is there a second?
I second.
Second by Mrs. Meese. Please cast your vote.
I vote yes.
Yes.
Motion to approve carries, 6 yes, 0 no, 1 absent. Do you need a minute to correct that? Okay. There we go. All right. At 7:14, case R-23-017 is now open for public hearing. Mr. Arnold.
Case R-23-017, Darrell and Gwendolyn Averett have petitioned to rezone 1.8 acres located on State Road 732/Little Creek Road in the Dan River Election District from RC1 Residential Combined Subdivision District to B2 Business District General to allow for a daycare facility. Once the property is rezoned to B2, all uses listed under Section 35-365 are permitted. The staff summary is enclosed in the board packet, and Mr. Chairman, Darrell and Gwendolyn Averett are here to represent the petition.
Good evening, Mr. and Mrs. Averett. Good to see you again.
Likewise. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As they just said, my name is Darrell Averett. This is my wife, Gwendolyn Averett. On April 16th, we went to the Board of Supervisors, and they allowed us to pull back with no penalties so that we would do a proffer daycare only. We volunteered to do a proffer daycare only for the record with the understanding that it would be approved.
And so, we pray that, the right decision would be made, and we really look forward to working in Pennsylvania County with this daycare center, because like we said before, it is a very, very needed project. And since I was here the last time, I've gotten so many calls. So, I'm sorry.
There we go.
Okay. So since I was here the last time, I've gotten so many calls from the community, concerns about the daycare center. And the community is really looking forward to the daycare center being on the Ringo area. So we just pray that everything goes well, and we find in your heart to do the right thing. And this project will be done. Thank you so much.
Thank you all. I have 2 folks signed up to speak tonight to this case. Shelby Tate. Good evening, Mrs. Tate.
Good evening, Commission members. My name is Shelby Tate, and I'm from the Dan River District. You've seen me before.
Yes, ma'am.
I am in opposition to the rezoning of the property from RC1 Residential Combined Subdivision District to B2 Business District General, as I have been from the beginning of this process. On December the 5th, 2023, the first meeting of the Pittsylvania County Planning Commission, I asked for a proffer that the Averets would only use this property for daycare. The Averets revised the approximately 105 uses under B2 General to about 27 uses. However, I am still opposed because of the many uses that still is left for the property could be used for. Tonight, we seem to stand at the crossroad. At the last Board of Supervisors meeting on April the 16th, Mr. Robert Tucker, a member of the board, asked the Averets to consider this original proffer to gain approval from the board. At this meeting, Ms. Averett said that she would agree to this. I sincerely hope tonight this will be their decision, as I've just heard. If not, I would still oppose anything other than this proffer. I think we've wasted enough time of the members of the Planning Commission and the Board of Supervisors. Plus, we had residents who work second shift that have lost time from work to attend these different meetings. I say tonight, pardon me? Oh, I thought somebody said something. I say tonight, enough is enough. Thank you.
Mike Barker.
Yes, sir. Mike Barker, Dan River District. As long as the proper will hold it to what they originally applied for, a daycare, there'll be no opposition. As long as that don't change. Anything else, we will oppose. Thank you.
All right. I'll read this proffer of conditions into the record just to be clear. We, Darrell Averett and Gwendolyn Averett, hereby voluntarily proffer to the Pittsylvania County Board of Supervisors to restrict the above referenced property to the following conditions. We will not use the above referenced property from all uses listed under the B2 zoning district with the exception of child daycare and those also permitted by right under the RC1 zoning district. This proffer shall run with the land. Any other uses other than child daycare and the uses permitted by right in RC1 residential combined subdivision district will require a new petition with a public hearing and recommendation by the Planning Commission and a public hearing and approval by the Board of Supervisors. Respectfully submitted, Darrell and Gwendolyn Averett. So hopefully that clears up what we're doing here tonight. This proffer limits them to just a child care facility except for anything that they already by right have under RC1. Are there any other comments from any board members?
This is just on the existing house as it states above, here at the top.
Repeat that, I'm sorry, Mr. Oakes.
Here at the top, it says it's use of the existing house.
The existing house, right.
So it's no other buildings would be involved.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else?
Mr. Chairman, and it indicates this proffer shall run with the land.
That's
They
right.
understand that, right?
Just to be clear, the proffer is for the property, not just the house. It's the property.
Yeah, we
So-
understand.
Okay,
Understand.
good. All right, just want to make sure.
Yep.
Sure.
Anybody else? At 7:22, public hearing is closed. Mr. Brown.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, in case R-23-017, I recommend that we approve it back to the Board of Supervisors with this signed proffer.
Motion by Mr. Brown. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Henderson. We're ready to vote.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Motion to rezone with the proffer is approved, 6 yes, 0 no, 1 absent.
We got up, okay, yeah, that's better.
At 7:23, case S-24-007 is now open for public hearing. Mr. Arnold.
Case S-24-007, Reuben Pop has petitioned for a special use permit on 5.93 acres located on Flat Top Cove Road in the Stanton River Election District to allow for the placement of a single-wide manufactured home in accordance with Pennsylvania County Code 35-223. The staff summary is enclosed in the board packet, and Mr. Chairman, Reuben Pop is here to represent the petition.
Mr. Pop. Do you have anything you'd like to add? All right. Thank you, Mr. Pop. I do have one signed up to speak to this case. Mr. Airport.
Thank you for your time. Yeah, I just saw the sign along the road. We noticed, my wife and I noticed it was for a special use permit. When the subdivisions for single-family homes, it appears at least that that's what this individual is requesting. So I just didn't know what the petition was for, so I just wanted to come here and find out. Appreciate your time.
Okay. Do you have any questions at all?
We just know that it's single-family homes. I know it's a fairly long road down to what appears to be the property site, and the HOA would, you know, the covenants and whatever say it's for single-family use only.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else? At 7:25, public hearing is closed. Mr. Waters.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I'll take this. In case S-24-007, the special use permit for the placement of a single-wide mobile home, I would submit the motion for the commission to approve the application for Mr. Pop for this single-wide mobile home.
Thank you, Mr. Waters. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Oakes. Please cast your vote.
Yes.
Yes.
Motion passes, 6 yes, 0 no, 1 absent. At 7:27, case S-24-008 is now open for public hearing. Mr. Arnold.
Case S-24-008, Verizon Wireless has petitioned for a special use permit on 13 acres located off of State Road 851/Sugar Tree Church Road in the Tunstall Election District for the placement of a cell tower. The staff summary is enclosed in the board packet, and Mr. Chairman, a representative from Verizon Wireless is here to represent the petition.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman,
Good
members of the Planning Commission. I'm Lori Schweller, attorney with Williams Mullen in Charlottesville, representing Verizon Wireless. Our application materials are in your packet, but I thought I'd just give you a very brief presentation to show you what the proposed facility would look like. This is the GIS map showing the location of the parcel on Sugar Tree Church Road. And you can see, well, it's a little bit difficult to see there. It's at the intersection on 13 acres. The site does meet all the setbacks, and in this zoning district and all zoning districts, in fact, wireless communications facilities are permitted as an accessory use as long as they are not within setbacks. The closest residence is 462 feet away. The proposed site is a 100 by 100 foot lease area, and within that the fenced compound would be 60 by 60 feet, and there would be an easement over the property for ingress and egress and utilities. So the antennas would be placed on a monopole style support structure, single pole, and it would be 199 feet, and that includes the 4-foot lightning rod. No lights at all are required, and there would be space for at least 3 additional wireless providers. The tower would be galvanized steel, unreflective matte steel. I'm happy to take any questions you have about the application or the proposal.
Any questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
I have one signed up to speak. Mr. Wilson. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
If you could lower that microphone down just a little bit.
Okay,
There
can
we
you hear me? Good evening. What I came in for was, I'm adjacent beside I guess the spot of the lot they aiming on using. And I happened to notice the sign that they say was trying to zone it. And I had a few questions or concerns, more or less. I was wondering about the safety of it, as far as something like radiation coming off or whatever. On account I got a lot of grandkids, and was it going to be enclosed, down beside my property? And and I actually hadn't heard a lot about it, so I was trying to kind of figure out what their plans were as far as what the Verizon was going to do. So I guess I seen some of what she was saying after that, but them was based my major concern, because I'm right beside where I guess they aiming on putting.
Okay. All right. I can't answer the question about
Yeah,
the radiation.
yeah,
I'll maybe defer to Ms.
Yeah,
Swellen.
that's about the only concern I have.
All right. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Schweller, would you like to speak to that?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for that opportunity. I would like to address Mr. Wilson's concern about safety, particularly RF emissions, radio frequency emissions, and to assure him that those, since the advent of cell towers, the FCC, the Federal Communications Commission, has been studying those, examining third-party tests about the safety of radio frequency emissions, and has established standards for all cell towers. And those standards, in fact, allow even greater emissions than your cell tower like this will emit. These are, first of all, the antennas are almost 200 feet in the air, and any RF emissions that emit would only affect a person standing immediately in front of the antennas, such as someone working immediately in front of them. But as the signal goes out in time, out in space, and then lowers, to the ground, it becomes negligible, and there's no risk of health to anyone on the ground in the vicinity, even as close as the nearest home. And studies have been updated in recent years because of 5G technology to make sure that the safety standards are still adequate, and they have found that they are. And so we feel confident in stating that this facility will meet all FCC regulations, and Mr. Wilson and his family should not have a concern about the RF emissions from the facility.
All right. Thank you.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Wilson, did that answer your question? Come on back down.
Excuse me, I was sorry for that. My only other question was asking about would it be enclosed or whatever?
Enclosed.
Like a fence or something.
A
kinda
fence,
separate.
fenced in.
Yeah, fenced in.
Yes, yeah.
But she answered my question as far as the
Okay,
radiation.
all right. All right, thank you, Mr. Wilson.
Thank you.
All right, anyone else?
According to our
Oh.
diagram, Mr. Chairman, it's a 7-foot chain link fence with barbed wire at the top. So, yeah.
Okay. All right, any more discussion? Sure. All right. At 7:34, public hearing is closed. Mr. Oakes,
Mr. Chairman, in case S-24-008, I make a motion that we issue a special use permit for a cell phone tower.
motion by Mr. Oakes, is there a second?
I'd like to second that, Mr. Chairman.
Second by Mr. Waters. Please cast your vote.
Mr. Harker?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
And Mr. Waters?
Yes.
Motion is approved, 6 yes, 0 no, 1 absent. At 7:36, case CA-24-001 is now open for public hearing. Mr. Arnold.
Case CA-24-001, county staff are proposing revisions to Pennsylvania County Code, Chapter 35, Division 4, supplementary regulations to add regulations concerning data centers, and Pennsylvania County Code, Chapter 35, Division 12, Industrial District, also known as M2, Heavy Industry, Section 35-403, Special Use Permits, adding data centers as a use permitted by special use permit. The staff summary is enclosed in the board packet.
Anybody have any questions for Mr. Arnold, or everybody got a chance to read this and look it over? All right. At 7:37, public hearing is closed. Floor is open for a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion in case CA-24-001 that we recommend to the Board of Supervisors that this be approved.
Motion by Mrs. Meese, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Mr. Oakes. Please cast your vote.
Ms. Henderson?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Motion carries, 6 yes, 0 no, 1 absent. Old business. Mr. Arnold, do you have any old business?
No, sir.
All right. New business.
No, sir.
All right. Then at 7:38, we are adjourned.